Okay, let's be real. A lot of us are using AI tools like ChatGPT pretty much every day. But have you ever actually stopped to think about what they might be doing to our brains? This explainer is all about a pre-provocative question that's been bugging me. Is all this reliance on AI actually making us dumber?
I mean, check out this quote. A learning expert recently said this, and that is a bold claim. But here's the thing. It's not just some hot take. It's a serious warning, and it's based on some pretty alarming scientific evidence that suggests the way we're using AI could be sabotaging our ability to think. So let's actually look at the data. And a lot of that evidence comes from a recent MIT paper with the perfect title, Your Brain on ChatGPT. It gives us this fascinating and honestly kind of concerning look at what's happening inside our skulls when we ask AI for a little help.
The experiment itself was actually pretty simple. The researchers had 3 groups write some essays. Group 1 got to use ChatGPT. Group 2 could use a search engine, like Google. And the third group, well, they were on their own, just their brain. Simple setup, right? But the results were anything but. The results were stark. I mean, look at this. When the researchers measured the electrical activity in people's brains, the brain-only group was lit up like a Christmas tree. The search engine group was, somewhere in the middle, but the ChatGPT group, whoa. Their brain activity was way, way lower. It's like they had just outsourced all the effort.
And this drop in brain activity wasn't just some number on a chart. It had real-world consequences. The study found that the AI users actually developed weaker connections in their brain and were way less engaged with the task. And that led to worse recall of what they wrote, and in the end, their essays were just more generic and lower quality.
But for me, this was the real kicker. Even after the experiment was over and they stopped using AI, the ChatGPT's group's brain activity didn't just bounce back to normal. The study suggests there's a lasting negative effect when you get in the habit of outsourcing your thinking.
So what is going on here? If AI is so good at giving us information, why does it seem to make it harder for us to actually learn that information? Well, the answer lies in this powerful psychological trap. It's called the illusion of learning. Let's break that down.
Okay, think about how we really learn something. We don't just, download information like a computer. The magic happens in what scientists call effortful processing. It's that mental struggle, right? The wrestling with ideas, organizing them, trying to connect them to what we already know. That messy, sometimes difficult work is what actually builds real, lasting memories and expertise.
And this is the core of the whole problem. AI gives us a perfect, organized, easy answer almost instantly, so it feels like we're learning. But what's really happening is we're taking a shortcut. We're completely bypassing that crucial, effortful processing step.
This is the illusion of learning. It's the trap of mistaking how easy it is to read an AI's clean summary for genuine knowledge. Just because you understand it on the screen for a second doesn't mean it's actually locked away in your head, ready for you to use later.
There's a term for this, cognitive offloading. It basically means we're handing off the heavy lifting to a machine. But here's the thing you got to remember. That hard work, that mental heavy lifting isn't a bug in the learning process, it's the entire feature. It's the only thing that actually forges knowledge in our brains.
And this isn't just about, studying for some test. This habit has massive implications for our careers. And that brings us to this really fascinating idea, the expertise paradox.
See, when we rely too much on AI, we run into 2 big hidden dangers. First, we all know AI hallucinates. It just confidently makes things up. But the second danger is a lot more subtle, and it's what we're calling the expertise paradox. So this leads to the billion-dollar question, right? If AI can answer anything, are human experts about to become obsolete? Well, the answer might actually surprise you.
It turns out AI is an amplifier. An amateur user asks a basic question, they get a basic, generic result. But an expert, someone who knows the right questions to ask, who knows how to challenge the output and how to verify it, they can use that same tool to produce something absolutely exceptional. For them, expertise becomes a force multiplier.
So think about what that means. AI doesn't get rid of the need for experts. It actually raises the bar for everyone. When anyone can generate a good enough answer in seconds, deep, verifiable expertise isn't just valuable, it's everything. That's the new standard. Okay, so we've seen the problem. It's a little scary. So how do we fix it? How can we use these incredibly powerful tools without, accidentally making ourselves dumber? Well, it all comes down to a really simple mental shift. It really all boils down to this one idea. Treat AI as your assistant, not as a replacement for your brain. Its job is to help you think, not to do the thinking for you.
That's a huge difference.
So what does that look like day to day? Well, think of it this way. Do use AI to save time on grunt work. Have it go find resources for you. Use it as a sounding board for your ideas, or ask it to challenge you with different perspectives. Use it to get a quick overview so that you can focus on the real deep thinking.
And on the flip side, here's what you want to avoid. Don't ask it to do the core thinking for you. Connecting the dots, forming the actual strategy, and most importantly, don't use it just to escape that feeling of being confused. Because that feeling of struggle, that moment of confusion where you have to stop and really think, that's not a sign you're failing. That is the signal that your brain is firing up, making connections, and getting ready to build real, durable knowledge. That feeling is the starting line for expertise. Don't run from it.
So, I'll leave you with this question. The next time you open up ChatGPT, just ask yourself, am I using this tool to escape the hard work, or am I using it to fuel my own deep thinking? The answer to that question is going to make all the difference.